Good evening. Today our topic is introduction to Redis. So we can start. Uh, what's Redis? So Redis is an open source in-memory data structure store. It means we can store the data in memory, like in RAM itself, we can store the data. It's developed in C language. It's designed for performance and simplicity. It acts as a database. We can use it as a database, and we can use it for cache also, and message broker also. It supports various data structures for flexible data modeling. So what are the key features of Redis? It's in-memory storage. Data we can store in RAM. So when you're storing in RAM and accessing from RAM, it will be very fast. It will be at a fast read and write operations. So this is ideal for applications requiring low latency access to data. It have various type of data structures, strings, lists, sets, hashes, and other data structures as well. So it enables complex data modeling and versatile application development. Persistence is another key feature of Redis. We can enable persistence in Redis. That means we can enable the data can be write to disk as well. Okay, so when we are using RAM for data saving, once the server is restarted, we will lose the data, right? So if we enable persistence, the data will be stored in disk so that we can access later also. So optional persistence to disk for durability, configurable snapshotting, and only file operations. So another feature is replication, master slave replication for data redundancy and availability. So it ensures data is always available, even in the case of node pages. So what are the use cases of Redis? Where we can use Redis? So first one is caching. So, we can cache data, like some frequently used with frequently accessing data, so that can be cached, right? So in our application, every time we don't need to go to database for some data. Like it may not be changing regularly, like only in couple of in particular interval only some data will be changing, right? But it may be accessed frequently. For example, that is our token details or login token details. So those kind of information we can cache. So that for caching we can use Redis, and for session storage also we can use Redis. It's an efficient management of user sessions in web applications. Ensures quick retrieval and update of session data. Real-time analysis, for real-time analysis analytics also we can use Redis. It performs analytics on large data sets with low latency responses. Okay, so it's well suited for applications requiring real-time insights. And one another use case is sub messaging, publish and subscribe message. Implement public subscribe patterns or event-driven architectures. So enables efficient communication between distributed components. Okay, so when I said we can use it from, we can use Redis for cache. So this is the workflow. It's a general cache system. So when we have an application and we will have a data store, it will be a database or any other data store. Okay, so some data we may be using frequently. So those data we can cache to our Redis. So when our application needs some data, first it will be checking in Redis or in cache, like if the data is available there. If it is not available in Redis, then only it will be going to database. It will be fetching from the database, and the data will be retrieved in the application, as well as the new data will be returned to cache as well. Okay, so there are many use cases for cache. One example is like our that token I mentioned. So suppose we have a number of users, and every time user logins using we are creating a token and we are saving in database. But these tokens, these our users may be our application users only. Like they maybe not be signing up from the outside, your normal staff users. So this data may not be changing frequently. So in that case, we can store the data in the databases. Still, with every API request, we need to fetch this data, right? We need to validate the token. So instead of all the APIs going to database and getting from the data from there, we can just use cache. Okay, in cache, one more thing is like we can set the expiry as well. After a particular time, this data will be cleared from cache. So next time it will be again fetched from database. And one another case is like if we are using external APIs that cost money. For example, in Google Map APIs, if we are using, when we use geocode APIs, so the billing is based on the number of requests. Okay, so we are passing a latitude and longitude, and Google is returning with some that location details. So these location details will be permanent. Like if we for the same latitude and longitude, the details will be same. If we call next time also, the data will be same. So those data actually we can cache. So Google allows us to cache for some days. So if we cache it in our system, we don't need to call to Google again and again. So the billing can be reduced. Okay, so that's caching. And another use case is publish and subscribe. Suppose there is some data coming to our application. So I have 5 applications, and there is one application which send the data. Okay, and from this one application for the other 4 applications, the data need to be fetched. Like whenever the first application sends the data, so it should be received in 4 applications, other 4 applications. So instead of sending to the 4 applications, we can use this Redis as a publish. We can subscribe to the Redis, and the first application can publish the data to Redis. Okay, the first application will publish the data to Redis, and the other applications which will act as a subscribers, which can subscribe to the Redis and will get the data. Okay, so that's a public and subscription model. So performance benchmarking, low latency, scalability. So when we start working on Redis, we can download it from website and install in Windows. If it's Linux or Mac, we can use command line. So once we install that, we will get a command line interface. So through this command line interface, we can communicate to Redis. So we can write commands and insert data, get data, all those things we can do there. Okay. So coming to Redis commands, there are many commands are there. So we can check into their official website for all the details. So basic commands are like in strings we have set, get, append. So set is used to set a value. The key we can, this will be like a key value structure. So we can pass the key and value. Get using get command, we can get the values, append the value. Hashes. Hash is a data structure that maps field to values. It's essentially a collection of key value pairs where each key represents a field. Okay. We'll see that. Then list related are push, L pop, L range. So these commands are there, and for set also S add to add a member to the set, and S members to list the members. These commands are there. Okay. And Redis clients. Redis clients means the client application used to connect the used for different programming languages. So for Java, we have Redis. Python, we have Redis Py. For .NET, we have Stack Exchange, Redis, etc. Okay. And security. So in security side, when we are installing Redis, we can set the authentication for Redis. So that it would not be publicly accessible. So we can set a password. So with that password only, we can access the data. And in Redis, we have option to access control list, ACL is there. So we can manage access there, like for different roles, we can grant this different permissions. To use some commands, we can set grant permissions for some roles, and we revoke permissions. So those role management, role permission management can be done with this Redis ACL, and encryption also there. We can um, store data with the encryption also. Okay. Challenges and considerations. So limitations wise, we like a Redis stores data primarily in memory. So large data sets may require a significant amount of RAM, and the entire data set must fit into memory for optimal performance. So consideration, as we are storing the data in the RAM, we need to regularly monitor the memory usage. Okay. Also, we need to check our application needs. Based on that, if needed, we need to enable the persistence as well. Okay, so next we will check how we can use Redis in our system. Okay, so first we need to install Redis. So the command I'm using is sudo apt-get install. So I have an Ubuntu system, so I'll be using command line to install Redis. So already installed. So it's time. So once we installed, so this Redis will be the default port will be 6379. Okay, and to access this Redis, we will be using this Redis CLI. We will be using Redis CLI to access Redis CLI. This is the command actually. Redis CLI hyphen hyphen h host name, and hyphen p port hyphen a password. So if we are not giving the host name, it will taken as local host. So if we are this Redis is hosted in a different server, then we can give the IP address here. And if we are running Redis in different port, we can give the port here. If we have a password, we can give the password as well. Okay, currently I'm not giving any of that. I'm uh, just writing using Redis CLI. Why is that? Because my host name is default, that is local host, and the port is default 6379. And this is my local machine, so I didn't set any password here also. Okay. So I have accessed the Redis CLI. So next thing is database. Actually, in Redis, there are number of databases. So these databases are numbered from 0 to 15. Okay, so by default, it will be connected to 0. We can change the database with this command, select. Okay, if I select 5, this fifth database will be selected. Okay, so so this is paid like we can use up to maximum 15. Okay, 0 to 15. These are the database numbers Redis have. So currently I have accessed the database 5. So next we will run some basic commands. Okay. So first command is actually set. So the parameters will be, one is key, in which key we need to save the data, and what will be the value. And also we can set the expiry in seconds. So set test 100. Okay. So okay means it's done, it's saved. So now we can use get command to get the value. So the key is test. Okay, so the value is showing us 100. If you want to delete the value, it will be like delete test. So it's done. It's deleted. So if I again trying to get the test key value, the value will be showing us nil. Okay. So next script A 101, the expiration of 5 seconds. Okay. Um, I need to check the syntax there. Okay. Anyway, we will set the value for A 101. So another one key is like exist. We can check if a key exists or not. Exist A. It's giving 1. It means true. It's the value exists. If I ask for B, it is returning 0. That means that value does not exist there. Okay. And for A, I'm setting the expiration time also. Expire A in 5 seconds. So if I try to get A after 5 seconds, actually it got. So I'm getting on 0 value now. So next I'm setting expire A5. Okay, that means after 5 seconds, the data will be deleted automatically. So just wait for 5 seconds and then if we run A, the data is empty. That means the data is deleted automatically. Okay, and there's one more command TTL, which get the remaining time to leave in the key. But if your expiry time is set, how much more time it will be there? That value we will get. And there are some string related commands also there up in the strlen for string length and for increment decrement also increment the integer value of a key by 1 and decrement value by 1. These commands are all available. Okay. Okay. Now we will check this hash commands. So hash user 100 user name. Okay. Okay, like I mentioned, here we can set the field also. In earlier, like when we use the string commands, so we will be set passing a key and key value. It's in a key value structure. Here, actually, we can save more data. Like if you are saving user details, we can say like for name we can store field and just set user age 20 user font 99999. So I have set multiple values for user. Okay. one key, I'm setting multiple values. So to get all the values of user, we can just use the command get on. So if you want to get the particular key only, like particular field only, then we can use the command get key, and then that field name also we can give there. Okay. Delete option is also there. If you want to delete a particular field, we can use this delete commands. So then we have list commands. Here actually it will be saved as a list. Basically, this is for different data structures. First we source strings, then now list. Then also we have we can store data set as well. Set commands are also there. So if you check on the list, so list to save a new value, like we can use the command R push. Okay. R push key. Key will be like a value we can give us 100, 200, 300. Okay. So we can give actually multiple values there. To get the value L range, sorry, we need to set the start and stop also. Okay. So then to get one value, we can use L pop. Okay. Pop means it will get the data from first one. Right? First data will be retrieved. So like with the pop, pop means the data retrieved and will be deleted as well. Okay. Normal programming like pop, push and pop. So these are the basic commands. There are other commands as well. So you can try those commands in your system. Just to refer to Redis official website. All the commands are listed there. So I'm not going more details there. So next we will check like using a client, like using a Redis client, how we can use it in any programming language. So I'm now using Python. So let's check how we can set it in Python. Okay. So first thing we will create a project. I already created a project here. So next what we're going to do is so in Python to install a package we use pip install Python package manager. So we can use this command to install a Redis. Before that we need to make sure we are in the same folder. So I have created one folder Redis session and I'm in the same folder. So I can install pip install Redis. I can install Redis here. But if I install here, it will be generally available in my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm just creating a virtual environment and creating, and then I will install Redis in there. Okay, so I created a virtual environment, I activated it. So now I will install Redis. Okay. So Redis is currently installed. Next, I'm going to create a Python file to connect that. Okay. Then to use this Redis package, we can just import Redis here. Redis. And next thing is actually we need to connect to this Redis, right? So for that, I'm just creating an object R. R is equal to Redis dot. So there is one function to connect to Redis, which is like straight Redis. There we can pass the parameters. So when I mentioned earlier, need to, when I'm connecting to Redis CLI, we have some commands like host, like parameters, host, port, passwords. So those details we can pass here as well. So first we will set host, which will actually local host, and then port is 6379. So one more thing we need to pass is database also, DP. So this number will be 0 to 50. So I'm just passing 5. Okay. Now I will set a value. Just to set a string, we can use set. So any key. So my key. So the value we can pass as the second parameter. And then to get the value, we will use a get. R dot, that's get function is there. So key is my key. So I'm trying to print that. So the print function. Okay. So now I'm going to run this file. Python. I'm just using a shortcut Python. Main dot Python. So the values. So actually it's in a different format. So it's encoded. So I will try to decode it here. So I will set the value equal to r dot get value. Then I will print the value here after decoding. So the actual string we will get here. Okay. So if you want to use the list here, we can have this r push command is there. R dot r push. Okay. So the list name we can give, and the item value we can give as the next parameter. Okay. So here I will give like, and just we can just give EA and 100, then 200, 300. So three values are given, and to get these values, list to values is equal to r dot L range. The function to get the values is actually L range. L range list range. Okay, so the key will be A, and we need to pass the start and end as well. So start is 0. I'm sorry, 0, and end is actually we are giving to minus, so like to get all the values. So then we will print the same. Just print the values here. Print list values. List values. Okay. So I will again run the function, and there I am getting all those values. 200. So there are repeated values are there. It's because we already set some values using command line, right? So that's why the values are again there. Okay. So I will use a different key now. There are already some values are in that key. So yeah, so that's how we uh, push values and get values in the list. So this is how we can use Redis to store data. Like in Python, we can use Redis to store data and retrieve data. And so this is for basic caching only. So one more use case we mentioned is like subscription and publishing. Right. So next we'll check how we can do that also. So first we will create a file for publishing message pub.py. So here also we will import the Redis package. Then so we will again connect the Redis. So just copy paste here. Publish a value, we can just use publish command. So there actually we need to set the channel name. So channel name should be like if we can use a channel name. So all the subscribers which are subscribed to this channel will get that message. So we can use the different channels for different purposes. So first I'm gonna use channel one. Okay, and the message will be like hello. Okay, so this is to publish the message. Okay, so next we are going to write the code for subscription. The same code I will use here also. Just connect and publish equal to okay. So I will create one pub/sub object. Then from that object, I will use the function subscribe. Okay, subscribe, and I will pass the channel name. So my channel name was channel one. And to get this messages, we will be using for message in pub/sub.listen. Sub.listen. And so here this publishing message will be coming. So if message, so there one thing we need to check is the coming message, the type should be message. Okay, so then we will do like we will print, we will just print that message. Print received message, which will be in the key data. So in the coming message object data, in data key, the message will be there. Okay, just save this. So now we have the code. So what I'm going to do is we will uh, first we will subscribe to this code. Python dot py. So I'm running the sub.py in this terminal and also in this terminal. Sub.py. Okay, and from this terminal, I'm going to publish a message. Python. Okay, so when this Python script is executed to this Redis to this channel 1, the message will be published. So when it is published, so all the subscribers in this channel, they are getting the message. Here the message is received. Here also message is received. Okay, so this is the use case of, this is how we can implement this publish and subscribe in Redis with Byte. Okay. Yeah, so that's it from my side. Any questions?
Hi Rahul. I have a question. Currently, you are using Ubuntu. If we restart or something, the Ubuntu, all the keys and values in Redis memory will be lost. Or can we have any other? Is there any persistence volume? That means we can be used Redis in a, like MySQL data type. Can we use the Redis memories in that way?
Actually, we can set a persistence option. And one thing is, like in my local, I'm using this at Ubuntu. Ubuntu, I have installed Redis. Right? So whenever I restart, this data is not actually used in our local versions by default. So I think no more questions. So
I think no questions. We can.
Yeah. Stopping. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. It's a nice section.